Welcome back to Majestic Mayhem. I'm Death Dealer
And I'm Pink Piggles.
and hope everyone is doing wonderful this week. And I hope that everyone that is been hit with hurricane is all right and gets things back together. Because I know she left quite a bit of destruction behind, quite a bit of water more than anything. Yeah, I feel bad for. I think it was North Carolina. A lot of the roads washed out entirely as if it was like a flash flood. I can't imagine walking out my front door to see nothing but sludge and mud where roads used to be. That would be
But
surreal.
I think it's crazy because I've been looking at photos, yeah, of North Carolina, and I think Tennessee got hit too, and they don't get hurricanes, obviously, so they don't even have warnings.
Hmm.
They were like, right, so all the warnings just stopped at the border because there was no warnings to put out. But like people's houses, I mean, I can't imagine like you can even walk out your front door because there's a foot, 2 feet of water just everywhere, inside, outside. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Well, unfortunately, when you're dealing with nature like this, I find more often than not where you think you're evacuating to and is going to be safe is usually where the hurricane decides it's going to turn towards and just stop by and say hi. Like one year, we were having a Category 5 come through a few years back, and some family was worried about us, so they wanted us to come up to. They were in Kentucky, and they were like, "Oh, you guys can come stay with us for a little, a few days, and be safe and everything." And it was like, "No, I think we'll weather it out." Florida, we're kind of used to hurricanes. We're expecting hurricanes. We're not in an evacuation zone. We'll be fine. And thank God we were right. We were okay. Unfortunately, those family members were in the direct path line of the
oh
hurricane
gosh.
and got like 2 feet of water. And I
Oh,
was like, "Oh, I mean, I guess it's good that we didn't evacuate."
yeah.
I would have really have hated to be fine, to go home and see it, everything dry and just have to go help my family.
Yeah, everything you bought with you would have been ruined. Everything in your house would have been fine.
Like my uncle and aunt one time evacuated for a hurricane, and the state made them leave. The state made them move, and where the state put them up in a hotel, the hurricane changed at the very last
Oh,
second, and it hit that. My uncle went to go. My uncle's a chain smoker, and he went to go outside to smoke, and he wasn't expecting it because they weren't supposed to be near the hurricane anymore. And he went to go open the door, and the door just flung right open, and all this wind started coming through. He's like, "All I know is I'm back in the hurricane." He's
yeah.
like, "Why did I leave my house for this?" Like, but when they tell you to evacuate, you should evacuate anyway. All jokes aside, always leave when they
Yes.
tell you to leave because it's not safe. If there's telling you to leave, it's for a reason.
Yes. But keep watching the radar because things do change within a moment's notice.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think hurricanes and tornadoes have that in common. Why we don't get many tornadoes down here. I feel like our version of a hurricane, it is our version of a tornado.
Yeah.
So,
What I think is crazy about tornadoes is that like they could come down a street and one half of the street could be perfectly fine and the other half is just destruction. Like it's just crazy to me how it's such just a clear line of here's where it hit, here's where it didn't hit.
I've seen one up close, and I didn't realize we didn't know what it was even. We had no idea that we had tornadoes around in Florida.
Yeah.
We were still kind of new when it was when I was a little kid, and it was clear out kind of. It was a little windy, but we didn't think anything of it. And the next thing you know, there's a couple of garbage cans flying 50 feet in the air down the road. What is this? And it's like a
Yeah.
cone of water, just a cone of rain. It was in the tornado. There was no rain anywhere else. And I mean, not that weird for Florida. That kind of happens. We get rain in the front yard and it's drier than bone out in the backyard.
Hmm.
So that happens. But it was like the strangest thing. Watch these things go down the street with this rain cloud over it, and you're going, what the heck was that? Anybody know what that was? Was that a tornado? That's the smallest, cleanest thing I've ever seen. What just happened? I thought they were supposed to be big and brown and really noisy. It wasn't a little noisy, but it wasn't. I was expecting like the movie Twister.
Yeah.
Like, like, is that a funnel? Great times to be had. And in case you guys are keeping score up north, we might be expecting another one later this week. So pray for us and hope that we get enough alcohol down here in time.
Oh, so that's all. You just need time for all the beer trucks and liquor trucks to come make their deliveries this week, and then you're ready for round 2.
It'd be nice because the Floridians, when we go out for our hurricane supplies, it's usually where we're going. We're going to the alcohol first because we know we're going to be stuck in the house possibly for weeks on end with these kids, and they're not going to school because the schools are getting shut down. Back in 2001, we had a couple hurricanes back to back in like 6 weeks. And in that year, we ended up closing the schools down for 2 months.
Wow.
Because of that. Yeah, we get alcohol. Like, we buy food, but we definitely buy alcohol because, yeah, man, you can't even tell your kid to go outside and play. There's no going anywhere.
Yeah.
And God forbid the power goes out and now you've got this gremlin bored out of their mind looking at you to entertain them. It's like, no. No. So let's just hope we get the alcohol down in time. Some more food, maybe some generators and gas would be nice, but it'll be fine.
Well, it is Florida, so I'm sure all of the liquor companies already know, and they've got all. Have like for hurricanes, they bring in like the out of town like linemen to come help with the power. They were like, okay, hold on, bring all the extra beer trucks, assemble. You're going to Florida.
We need to go help Florida man and Florida woman. Alcoholics assemble. Can't even argue with it. Can't even argue it. Every time I always see people making jokes about how we handle the hurricanes, and all I can ever think is, for God's sakes, we got upset when they took away our hurricane cakes. We are not normal. We are just not normal. We are not okay.
Wait a second. What's a hurricane cake? You can't just say it and not tell us. Act like we all know what this is.
Oh my God. Okay. So a hurricane cake. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, we have this amazing grocery store called Publix.
The rest of us here.
We have Publix. It is the best grocery store, in my opinion. Their stuff's always really good. I like it. Anyway, they have their own bakery, like a lot of grocery store chains. And they decided, I don't even know how long ago it was, probably like 20 some odd years ago. They decided for one of the hurricanes that was like a category 1, we were going to kind of take it lightly. We were going to have a little fun with it because, we were buying out liquor stores by the store. It was the same year that they had literally sold out of all the liquor stores. They were like, we need to sell something else more than just liquor. Yeah. So they decided they were going to make hurricane cakes. And they were these beautifully colored cakes with a drawing of the hurricane on the cake. It said hurricane, and I can't remember what hurricane was the first one, but I think it might have been like Charlie or something. But they were like, hurricane, no name here. It was funny. We thought it was great. We loved them for years. They were a staple for the longest time. And then somebody got their feelings hurt and was like, hurricanes are no joke. Well, not to be that person, but when you live through a bunch of them, they kind of are. Like, you can't really look at everything with doom and gloom. Like, if I wanted to look at it that way, I could ask anyone in California, why are you living in an earthquake capital?
Yes, well, sometimes you just need to laugh at it. Like, you know, the hurricane is coming, and you know, like, God, my house is gonna flood. I'm gonna, gonna have damage. You gotta hope for the best, but sometimes you just need something to laugh about.
I usually have at least a week's notice that there's one even looking at Florida. Like as soon as they even glance at Florida, they're like, "Hey guys, there's a possibility. Get ready." So everyone does. I mean, it's better than with tornadoes. With tornadoes, you get what, like a 10-minute warning. Earthquakes, you get like a 2-second warning for those, and that's if you're lucky. So I mean,
Frank said you need the cake to absorb the alcohol.
yes, Frank. Yes.
Frank also has little kids at home, so I think
You can appreciate it then. You want to be stuck inside with those kids for 2 months because you're not sending them outside to play in all that debris and stuff with all those people. And for the love of God, do not let your kids play in flood water. I can't express that enough. I hoped people had learned that by now in this day and age. Keep
okay.
your kids
So
out of
are you
water.
talking about just how like gross and contaminated, and you can't see the crap that's in it,
So
or are you
nasty.
talking about like getting sucked down the storm drain?
I'm talking like you playing in the flood waters on purpose and allowing kids to play in the puddles as if this is just rainwater.
Yeah, it's not.
Guys, that's sewage water. Like when the surge comes in, I don't know how to tell you guys this. When they say surges come in, like when New Orleans got flooded and things, it doesn't just hit the coastline and like come over the beach sand. Like I'm sure most people probably think, oh, it just kind of floods in on the beach. Not really. Yes, but no. We have storm drains. And what happens is those storm drains get overloaded with water and they have nowhere for that water to go but back up to the openings. So it pushes everything that's in there, including your poop and all of that, or, dead bodies, who knows, back up there. Stop letting your kids play in poopy water.
See, I
It's
agree.
gross.
I agree. Stormwater is gross, but I was also thinking when I was a little kid, I watched an episode of Rescue 911, and it has stuck with me ever since then. That these three kids were playing outside in the stormwater,
Hmm.
and I don't remember exactly why. I don't know if like the drain got unclogged somehow, or if just enough water receded. Either way, all of a sudden the water started to go out the storm drain,
Hmm.
and two kids got away, and the third kid got washed down the storm drain.
Hmm.
And the kid was this was like, I don't even know how old he was. He'd be like 10 or something. He was a little kid. He was in the storm drain for like 3 days before they found him. They couldn't find him in the system because he got carried so far, and he was lucky he lived. But I was like,
He's
in
real
my that
lucky.
always sticks in my head of like, oh God, you're gonna get sucked down and you're gonna be down in the sewers. And then of course I think like, you're gonna have alligators in the sewers, and then
I'm not gonna
the
lie,
poop water comes and
yeah, being sucked down a drain is not the most irrational fear you could have. I will admit, we do
yeah.
have some really big drains down here. I mean, we have to with the amount of water that we get hit with. It just makes sense for us. That's what we do. But
Yeah, Batman said Pennywise is down. Yeah, Pennywise is down there with them. I saw the last Halloween movie, and Jason was living the storm drain. Uh, yeah, you don't know who you're going to encounter. I
I
don't need to.
mean, I just it's so dirty. That's where my mind just keeps going back to is I've watched people like, no, dude, no. No, 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 no. Because even if it hasn't come back up out of that sewer, dogs walk around your yard and pee on
Well, I was
everything,
going to say, even if it's
everything.
there's garbage outside. I mean, it's just not clean water. Even if
No,
it's not sewage water, there's so much other gross stuff in life that's getting stirred up.
I am that petty. I have made puddles for my child to play in so she doesn't play in the dirty water because I'm not, you can get, like, I know it's not anything that you can't take care of, but you can even catch a ringworm from playing in a
Oh
dirty
God.
puddle. And I mean, A ringworm is just a parasite you get rid of with some nail polish or some cream, but for like, I don't want to deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know about it. I'd rather not. It's just better that way. Not to mention, like I'm always telling my kid, I'm not explaining that to your pediatrician. There's a lot of things I'm going to do. That's not one of them.
See, reading the chat, you could be down there reaping and dealing in the storm drain. We might encounter you if we get sucked down.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. There were a few people that they got raped this time, unfortunately. But I mean, that's how life goes sometimes. And for the love of, I'm just gonna say, we are keeping track of those of you who let your parents move down to heaven's waiting room, and they're incompetent enough to make decisions, and then you want to cry that someone needs to go rescue your incompetent parents because you were too busy to keep them around. No, dog. We're keeping track of that. We're taking points. I'll see you later. Someone did that. They let their 80 and 85-year-old parents, and they were complaining at midnight online, asking for people to go to their parents' house and rescue them during the hurricane because her parents were incompetent and they didn't leave. Why would you let them move out of state without you if they're incompetent, honey?
Well, I understand that the parents could have left when they still were competent. The parents could have just said, "Screw you, we're going anyways." Who the heck knows? But don't you think that if your parents are really that bad, that you would have arranged some sort of emergency care ahead of time, so that way you're not asking at midnight as the hurricane's hitting, you would have had something in place to
There's
help them
only
ahead of time?
the only excuse for that is you don't like your parents. I said
Well,
it. I said what I
well,
said.
it is. So then you get on the internet at midnight, so you look good. Like, no, no, no. I try to get help. I don't know what else I could have done, right?
I mean,
But you
because
damn well know you're not getting help.
yeah, I mean, the hurricane made landfall at 7 o'clock. Why did you wait that long? They were in the first evacuation zone at that.
Yeah.
They should have left yesterday. They were supposed to be, the cops knock on those doors physically and tell them, if you don't leave, do not call us during the hurricane. You are responsible for your own safety because it is too dangerous for us to send people out, because we would essentially be sending them out to their deaths. There was actually one of the sheriffs in one of the areas, I don't know which county he was, but that guy went out on a call during this last hurricane, and unfortunately he didn't make it. He was an older gentleman who should have already been retired, and he wanted to continue serving his community and his people, which great. I feel bad that he even went out in the storm. It's heartbreaking to think that they lost him because of someone else's
Yeah.
foolishness. I'm going to call it, it's foolishness. If you're not in an evacuation zone and something happens, it happens. It is what it is. You didn't plan for it. They didn't plan for it. It's an accident. But if you're in a zone where they tell you to leave and you stay, that's your own fault.
Yeah.
And anyone can argue with me all they want about that one as a Floridian who's been here for over 30 years. That is a hill I'm willing to die on, because I've been in evacuation zones and had to leave, and I left. And then there's times where I've not left because I wasn't in an evacuation zone. That's the difference.
And you can't wait till the last minute to evacuate, because then
You're
you may
stuck
not
on a highway.
you may not be able to evacuate because everyone's evacuating. And that's when you see the pictures of people who are sitting on the highway for 8 hours.
Yep. We had that a couple years ago where it was so bad and so traffic logged. Cars were being abandoned on the highways because there was nowhere to get gas in Florida. Everyone was trying to leave the state, so they were leaving cars on. I don't know whatever happened to them afterwards, but the storm came through and wrecked a bunch of them. So I imagine they're sitting in a dump somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
They just got pressure washed and sold to somebody in a different part of the country.
We think so. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, to hear the insurance companies say your cars are pretty much totaled once they've had salt water in them for like a day or two, but I mean, I wouldn't trust an electric car. Those have been catching on fire since Thursday.
Well,
I'm
no,
not
I think
joking.
no, they really do. They really do sell them because, throughout other parts of the country where it's not immediate obvious that there's damage or that people don't really, you don't get a lot of flooded cars. You wouldn't know what to look for, and they clean it up so you can't even really see it. But they do. They just try to dump them elsewhere throughout the country.
Oh, yeah. So, this is my PSA to everyone: do not buy a used Tesla from Florida. This is your warning, because if you
Yeah.
do, it's definitely going to spontaneously combust at some point. There's been several fires of electrical cars because they got flooded and the batteries don't do well with water.
Yep.
Who would have thought lithium batteries and water don't mix? So, but yeah, Trinity, yeah, I absolutely agree. People don't think. They're more worried about their things than their own lives. I mean,
And to a lot of these events, though, you have advance notice, and I get like I wouldn't want to lose all my stuff, but I would if it's to save my life, I want to save my life. But even if I have to get out and they tell you, okay, you have 1 hour, well, in 1 hour I could pack up a suitcase full of the things that are most important to me,
I just need
right?
enough underwear for everyone in my family for like 2 months and we're good. We're gravy. Like, I need some underwear, some deodorant. We're gravy. Everything else I can replace. Most of
Mhm.
my pictures are like digital, so whatever. I haven't printed those out in years.
Well, no, but I'm saying if you need to grab a flash drive, you need to grab a photo album, right? Like if you have even if you have an hour's notice, in 1 hour, like I said, you can get those things that are like the most important things in your entire life. You can't get everything, but you could get a suitcase full of stuff within an hour, no problem.
I think part of that for me has to do with the family members I've had. I was always raised to have emergency things around. I've got a blow up dinghy in my garage. My grandfather insisted I have it when we bought our house. And I was like, I'll be fine, Grandpa. And he's like, no, sweetie, if the roads flood and you need to get over to the house, I want you to be able to get in a little boat and, row over to the house. Cool. I can't argue with good planning.
Hmm.
I mean, you should always have people when it comes time for a disaster. You shouldn't be going to a store to buy water. You should already have a case of water in your house. You drink water all year round. You need to rotate it anyway. Why aren't you rotating your cans and your water anyway? I don't buy things for supplies that I don't drink or eat all year round. I'm not buying 20 cans of cream corn. I don't like cream corn. I will buy 20 cans of ravioli or spaghettios or whatever, but I'm not buying canned cream corn. Like, I'm not buying things I'm not going to eat or use regularly, and you should. So you rotate these things in and out of your emergencies, packs. It's like first aid kits. You have to replace your first aid kit every couple of years, or the band aids go bad. The plastic and stuff doesn't stick well, or whatever.
Every time I need a band-aid, I go and I buy a brand new box because I use band-aids so infrequently. Do you think I could ever find the last box where two band-aids were used out of the brand new box? No, I'll never find the box again. It's been a year and a half. Who knows where it went?
Yeah, it was a problem. I've got about four first aid kits at all times in various sizes. um, with the trail, I have to have at least two on my haunted trail. That's actually a
Regulation.
there you
Rule.
go. That's the word. It's a regulation.
Yes.
Fire marshal. I don't know why we have to have extinguishers and stuff, but you do. Not that I've ever set anybody on fire yet. Not saying it's not possible. Anything's possible when I'm crazy enough. But No, I just, God, these people, it just makes me laugh. It's kind of maddening and sad at the same time. Buy things you need. Buy things you're going to use. Don't buy. If you don't drink water, don't buy water. Buy YooHoo. Buy Gatorade. Buy, like, listen, any doctor or physician, whatever, however you want to say it, any one of them will tell you it doesn't matter what you're ingesting necessarily after a disaster, so much as that you're ingesting something.
It's something that's not contaminated. That
Exactly.
you're not drinking that nasty ass
Don't
poop
drink hippie
water from
water.
outside.
Don't drink hippie water. But
Even though they make that company, I see it. They make that straw that like filters the water.
I wouldn't trust it. I'm not trusting that. It could, I'm sure it is the best thing ever.
I
And
mean,
it
if that's the
saves a
only
lot of money.
water and like you're gonna die if you don't drink something, like okay,
No,
you gotta take your chances.
no, I don't. There's still, I bet you I can find a can of soda somewhere. I bet you I will find a Starbucks drink somewhere. I bet you I will
But
find a Gatorade. I will start drinking liquor
if,
from morning
if
till
you're
night.
that dude that on that work hike who got left in the mountain, and as he's
Oh, I'm
laying
bringing
there
liquor.
dying in the puddle, he's gonna have to get a straw from his backpack to drink out of the dirty puddle and hope for the best, right? You're gonna
Listen,
die anyway. You might as well take your chances.
listen, if I were that guy, I would go on a hunting spree and drink the blood of my coworkers. Okay? Water be damned. I'm going for blood when I find you, man. Do you have any idea what I had to drink out there? Hannibal Lecter 2, please. Oh God. But yeah, no, Trinity's right. Your life is more precious than your stuff.
Mhm.
Take your dogs, take your cats, take your turtles, take your fish, whatever. Go. I know if they tell me to evacuate, y'all won't see me till later.
It is. I gotta pack up the pets. That's what's important. And I'll have you know, as of yesterday, I have two spooky babies. My little cats are now wearing. They already have their Halloween shirts on, so
Oh,
they're orange with black bats on them. So yes,
oh.
so my cats, two of the cats are they're ready. They're ready for Halloween.
I have an outfit that matches that literally. Um, it's a skirt and a shirt set, and it's orange with black bats on it. That's the
See, my
best.
cats are. You're just as fashionable as my cats.
Awesome. I'll take it. Cats are all right.
They're adorable.
My recommendation is get a bag you can fit your animal into in case someone tells you you can't bring it when you're evacuating. I will take the dog. But he's small enough he can fit into like a wallet purse, so it's not a big deal. But mm, we should probably
Okay. We actually now we actually have a topic for tonight. We've been talking about Halloween for like a month now, but since October starts in 2 days, we are legitimately starting our countdown now to Halloween. We're ready, and we're going to be counting down our not even counting down. No, I say counting. We're counting down to Halloween, but we're going to be talking about our favorite horror movies.
Yes.
So every week we're going to talk about different subgenres of horror. We're going to talk about what our favorite movies are. So hopefully you guys can tell us your favorite movies too.
Yeah.
See, so I know Death Dealer. See, we haven't even told each other what our movies are. We have no clue what we're going to say. I know that she's going to have great movies. She's going to have insightful reasons on why she likes these movies. I'm not going to have any of that. So I'm just telling you right now. I'm not going to.
Like, if I remember it, be glad. Just be happy I remembered it.
It is. If I actually saw a movie that fits the category and I remembered watching the movie, that's a win in my book. I enjoy movies. I don't ever seek them out on my own. There's very few movies and I'm like, oh, I have to see that. It's more of Barry goes, hey, you want to watch a movie? Okay. I'm just along for the ride. I enjoy movies. They're fun. I remember so few of them. But I have my top 3, and I have a bonus that I haven't seen, but I want to see. So I have a bonus one on my list.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
I'm prepared.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. You know what? I'm gonna be nice. I do this usually with the others too, because I have a much more extensive background in horror because it's pretty much all I
Yep.
watch unless my kid makes me watch something else with her and it's not horror, which she watches a lot of horror with her mom. So I see a lot of Vincent Price and things. She's seen more Shakespeare horror movies than most people have ever read Shakespeare. It's amazing how many movies are based on Shakespeare plays when you start watching the old black and whites. So I'll let you go first with your first pick, and so that
Okay,
way I
so
don't accidentally pick yours.
I hope this is gonna work. Okay, so Perry, wait, I have to before I give you my first pick. Perry put in the chat. He put Freaks. I didn't put that on my list because I did not count that as a comedic horror movie. So if that does fit in the comedic, that's totally on my list. I just want to put that out there. But I don't know where I would classify it, but okay, Alan Dr. Moreau. That's a wonderful movie. Hold on, so I have to see if this is gonna work.
The Freaks 2018 film?
No, it's from like the 30s or something.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I wouldn't consider that really comedy. It had a few lighthearted moments, but that movie's pretty damn dark, in my opinion. I mean, I look at it from a social standing, and that movie's dark to me. I don't really see much in the way of comedy in that one.
Yeah, I like that.
Though.
So I actually planned ahead of time. So if you see me, we all know number 1 on my list is Gremlins. The reason I like Gremlins is this guy right here. I love Gizmo so much. This photo is not a photo of my Gizmo in a car, but I do own this same exact toy from the 80s, Gizmo in a little convertible. I have it. I still have it. I love it. He's adorable. I love everything about him. It never once occurred to me that Gremlins was even a horror movie, and that's why last week I think I asked you, hey, does this really count as horror? Because I saw somebody write that somewhere, and I was like, what are they talking about? That's dumb. So I don't know. I never, but then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, it does make sense why it's a horror movie, but Gizmo is absolutely adorable.
It's one of those, I feel like it's one of those movies, it's from a time frame when we didn't really separate adult and kid movies very well. It's kind of along the lines of like Monster Squad. Great movie. Highly inappropriate watching it now with a kid. You're like, oh God, I don't remember that scene like at all. It's like, I don't remember that at all. My friend and I had this conversation because I wanted to let my kid watch it, and he's like, you might want to rewatch it. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it in years, but I used to love that movie. And he's like, rewatch it before you let her watch it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I saw it when I was like, I don't know, 10 or something. Like, it can't be that bad. And he's like, it's not scary, but rewatch it. And I'm going, oh. So we didn't really separate kids and adult movies very well. I think it was more of a darker kids movie. It could be clarified easily as a horror movie because there is a death in it. I mean, it happens fairly soon in the movie, so it's not that far off. If we're going with you have to have someone die in it, well, there you go. The old lady gets killed. So sorry for like a 50-year-old spoiler. You're welcome.
Perry said that Gremlins 2 was more of a horror comedy, and they laughed at themselves because people were outraged over the first film. So is Gremlins 2, is that the one where he's in the office and he leaves Gizmo in the filing cabinet?
Yes.
I was so mad. I was like, what are you doing? Don't he's gonna suffocate in there. I was so mad at him for sticking him in the filing cabinet. But
that was dark too. That one is much darker. Gremlins 2 is more
So Gremlins, any Gremlins really gets my number 1 pick for my favorite comedic horror franchise solely because I'm in love with Gizmo.
I like that answer. I'll accept that answer.
Yep.
We will all adore that answer. It's a good pick, though. I mean, it is. It's a nice one to start it off with, and I'm gonna have to agree with Dreadpool. My first pick is going to be Dale and Tucker versus Evil. I have loved that movie since it came out. It has made me giggle every time I've watched it. I've probably watched it over 100 times at this point, and I still laugh every time, especially with the, is there something wrong with your friends? He's so serious in the whole thing, and it's so unserious. And there's something wrong with your friends. Is there a reason? They're just, officer, I didn't touch him. He just came running along and jumped headfirst into the wood chipper. What? The whole thing is just hysterical. Every death is funny as all hell because no one's actually doing anything except for the ones that are trying to escape. Like,
So I've never seen it. So who's in that movie?
oh,
So it's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
yeah, Dale and Tucker versus Evil. Oh god, now I'm trying to think of what the guy's name is. The one guy's from oh good lord, I can't think of his name. Give me a second. Oh, it is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Sorry, it is Tucker and Dale. It's got Taylor LeBrain and Alan Tredyke, yeah. Oh, it's the guy that does that alien TV show where he's the doctor of a small town, but he's an alien from outer space.
I have no clue what that is. The only thing I know about aliens is that dude from the History Channel who's like aliens. You know that the dude.
Yes. I love that guy. I love that they still bring him back for the documentaries just for the alien thing now. I think that's the most, and the fact that he goes along with it now, it's just glorious. Like, I would go to a convention just to meet that guy at this point. I'm not even gonna lie. And all I want is just a picture of him standing next to me going, alien.
Yeah.
But it's a funny movie. It's a couple of guys, the two main characters, Dale and Tucker. They're rednecks. They're your traditional looking, like your white trash rednecks. They have a broken down pickup truck. They're going to their summer cabin, and it's a rundown cabin in the woods, literally. And they're at a gas station. These kids that are coming up to another cabin over for the weekend stop, and it's this little tense thing because the kids are acting like the rednecks are serial killers, and the rednecks are like, oh, it's because we're these kinds of people and they're those kinds of people, and it just leads to insanity because the one guy from the teenage group gets them all riled up that these rednecks are going to try and kill them, and then just like shit goes downhill from there. The one guy goes to spy on them and takes off running and runs into a beehive. Another one goes to run from one of the guys, and he ends up diving headfirst into a wood chipper. A cop shows up to try and like settle the whole thing, and he goes in the cabin, and a piece of the cabin falls on him and kills him. Like, it's anything that can go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah.
And nobody is actually the murderer except for the kid who started everything with rednecks bad. It's like, it's insanity. The lines alone are worth watching it because it's just so funny. Officer, I don't know what happened. He just came running up, screaming, and dove headfirst into the wood chipper. Is there something wrong with your friends? I think they're trying to kill themselves. I think they made some kind of suicide pact. It's like, what the heck am I? What? It's such like a breath of fresh air to horror because it's not what you expect. It is very funny. Very funny. Now, I've spoiled some of it, but you know what? It's not really a surprise because you look at any horror movie and you're like, yeah, most of you are going to die. I can try and guess which order you're going to die in, but you're all going to
Yeah.
die. So it didn't really ruin anything.
Okay, so number 2 on my list
Mm.
is the cinematic masterpiece known as Slaughterhouse. I have no clue if they were trying to be a comedy, but
Mhm.
this movie is so horribly bad that it's funny. Um, this is like, you ever see one of those movies? It is. It's just really a horrible movie. It's cheesy. It's stupid. It has bad AI,
Yeah.
but you have to watch it. This is Slaughterhouse. It just came out last year, I think, and it's a sorority at college, and the
Mm.
girl adopts a baby sloth, and the sloth goes on a murderous rampage. And I had to watch it because I love sloths and I love puns. So Slaughterhouse was right up my alley. And I'm telling you, it was so stupid. And there's this one scene, um, the sloth drives a car, and it's just so comical. Like, as he gets in the car and he looks over at the camera and it zooms away, and I just, like I said, I don't think they were necessarily going for comedy, but it was extremely laughable. Perry said he lost brain cells watching it.
I can honestly picture that, and I can understand
Yeah,
why. That'd be one of those movies I wouldn't watch now the whole way through, probably, unless I found something to be entertained by.
yeah,
Um, Years ago, when you still had to rent movies in person, like like people used to do, like as old farts. Um, if I had to rent it, and if I had rented it from like Blockbuster or something, yeah, I would have watched it because I already paid for it. You can't get your money back like that, and you never could. Would I watch it now? Probably not.
you're not missing anything. Yeah, he also sends text messages. Um, it is. It's great. The sloth goes on a murderous rampage with the sorority at the sorority house, and
I'm not even gonna lie, that is not what I was pulling up, and definitely not what I was expecting. I found something entirely different, and this looks slightly interesting, but I don't see a sloth in it. There's no sloth in this one. I'm a little disappointed now. I might have to watch this just to watch a sloth murder people. That could be entertaining. Could be.
like I said, it's really dumb. It's really dumb, but I also enjoyed it, and that's why it's number 2 on my list.
I've seen dumb movies, so we'll see how dumb it truly is eventually. I've had to watch some real bangers. Thanks to everybody around me. Mom's made me watch some really bad ones. Um, but one of the good ones I liked would have to be Shaun of the Dead. I like zombies. I like comedy, and I like Simon Pegg. I think he's funny.
Mhm.
I think he's got that real good dry wit down beautifully, and that movie is hysterical to me. Um, and besides, who wouldn't have the same zombie plan? I'd be hanging with Sean. I mean, you mean we're gonna go down, have a pint, and wait for the whole thing to blow over? I'm in. Sounds like a good time if you ask me. I don't see the problem. I would have left that biatch of an ex girlfriend behind to die though. In her
So
little,
are your zombie preparations the same as your hurricane preparations? Stock up on alcohol and cream corn?
except I'm going to stay inside for that for a while. Not because I'm scared or concerned, because it's going to be open target season, which I have great aim. I'm not worried. My concern is idiots. I worry about morons who think they are God's gift to the planet and they're just going to stroll out with a bunch of weapons and take out 100 zombies. My guy, you can have 100 bullets. There's only usually one hand firing a gun at a time, though. So just throw on that. So I probably wait for those people to kill themselves off first. And then I'll go out and go to the pub and have a pint and wait for the whole thing to blow over. Or I might just steal a keg off of a beer truck and drive the whole beer truck home. Who knows?
So I've never seen Shaun of the Dead, but I have heard people talk about it before, and I do know it's one of those movies that people just love, and it has such a huge cult following at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, it does. Oh God. I think it's probably because honestly, Dawn of the Dead has a huge cult following because Romero is like the grandfather to the modern day zombie. He is the reason we have the zombies we do now. Before he had made Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and all those,
Yeah.
we had a movie called White Zombie. Well, I hate to tell you this, the zombie movies beforehand were a lot like White Zombie. They weren't really zombies. They were voodoo, drug induced zombies, not cannibals, not living dead people. They were just kind of mindless and drugged out. So he made the more modern living dead theory. And he did really good makeup effects. And he seemed like a really nice guy to work for. And whenever he's done interviews, and anyone who's ever worked with him has done interviews, they always praise what a wonderful person he's did. When they did Dawn of the Dead, or Dawn of the Dead, he couldn't afford the rental fees. The county, I think it was, came together, and all of the zombies did it for free. They all shot as extras for free, so he could use the mall and stuff and have what he needed for the movie.
Yeah.
That's
That's
dedication.
cool.
That's some love. You have to really
Yeah.
like someone to be like, I'll work for free for the day. I don't care
Yep.
how fun it is. I'm not working for free. So you better be the best boss I've ever seen. Um, and it pays a huge homage to him. So I think that's why Shaun of the Dead, because it doesn't do it in a disrespectful way. It is very, very respectful.
Hmm.
So, I mean, in fact, Ramiro actually had the director from Shaun of the Dead and Simon Pegg in Land of the Dead as zombies. They're
Okay.
in his movie that came out, I don't know when it was, like 2000 and something. But he did another sequel to his series, and yeah, Simon Pegg and the director are zombies taking pictures with people in the zombie alleyway. He's like, yeah, he liked it so much. He said, "Come on down to set, guys. You
Yeah.
really want to have a cameo?" Like, so I imagine it's got more to do with Ramiro than the movie initially itself. I mean, like I said, it's good, but it's probably because it pays so much respect to where it came from that people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because there is a remake of Night. There's several remakes of Night of the Living Dead. They're not all good. No, there's one that takes place on a weed farm. For the life of me, I can't find it anymore. I've watched it, but I can't find it. I have no idea where it's streaming anymore. Can't remember the exact name of it, but it's a Night of the Living Dead. They get trapped on not a regular farm, but it's a weed farm. It's not great, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. But I can't remember all of it, so I'm like, I want to watch it again because it has something to do with like drugs or something. Why people were turning into zombies? I can't remember exactly what it was. If it was like a bad Xanax or something, but it was like.
So you think that would be the exact movie that they want to make sure people are watching these days, like all the right now that attitudes are changing towards weed and it's legalized certain places. You think that'd be the exact movie they'd want to put out?
Reefer Madness, because they've
Yeah.
already tried that, and Reefer Madness was nothing but a joke and has been nothing but a joke ever since. I mean, have you ever seen Reefer? Have you ever seen a clip of Reefer Madness? It is the most insane thing you can watch. And I say that as someone who watched Pink Floyd The Wall at one point. Like, great times. Wouldn't do it again. But Reefer Madness is one of those movies that's just like.
RWK said it's a normal night in Florida.
Maybe in some areas.
And is that movie Night of the Living Stoned?
It might be.
That was his guess. I don't know if that was a guess or if he knows that. I'm not sure.
I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't been able to think of the exact name of it because I haven't been able to find it. And it's been driving me crazy for years because I can't remember the whole movie. I remember bits and pieces of it. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I think I'm putting like two separate parts together.
Mhm.
That's why I can't like Google it and find it. Because like I've tried Googling the plot line and things, and like characters' names, and it's one of those movies that just I don't know. Maybe it was a fever dream. Maybe I was sick with a fever, and I don't know. Dreamed of zombies on a weed farm. You got me.
See, I'm no help. I don't like zombie movies because I don't really care. I mean, if the zombies come, why would you still want to be alive? My plan when the zombies
Target
come is
practice.
my plan when the zombies come is to just lay down. When they get me, they get me. I mean, that's it. I really
That is the wrong way to look at things. That is the wrong, and I am disappointed in you. First
what a,
thing you're gonna do when the apocalypse happens, we're gonna go find our boss. Maybe they're already dead. I don't know. Officer, I don't know anything. I just showed up and they looked like that already. I had nothing to do with it. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go find a few of the people that have upset me over the years that I haven't been able to put hands on because I know they're gonna call somebody. I'm gonna put hands on them then. Again, it's I don't know what happened, officer. They were already looking like they were already bleeding from the chest when I got here. I don't know anything about that. I know nothing. The apocalypse would be amazing. Great therapy for a lot of people. We're just doing that therapy. We're all in therapy now, and we're just going to continue therapy once the apocalypse happens, except it's going to be more hands-on therapy sessions.
what's that movie where there's no laws or no rules for 24 hours or
The
whatever?
purge.
Yeah, like this is just a permanent purge because it's the apocalypse, so there's just no rules ever.
Do you have any idea the annoyance that I had with those purge movies? Because they have squandered that whole plot line so bad. It drives me nuts. The first movie was like so like why do we have to focus on one family, and then the next couple of ones we're focusing on too many things but not enough at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. Then we've got the first purge stop it. It's not the Fast and Furious franchise. We do not need 50 of these movies. You haven't gotten it right yet. Stop.
I've never seen any of them. I mean, I don't know, because if I had, okay, if they said, okay, you got 24 hours, no rules,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not killing people, right? Because don't they kill people in the purge, and the whole thing is you go and commit murders?
Yep.
I'm not going to kill somebody because then I still have to live with myself knowing that I just went and killed people. I would rather go like rob a bank or rob Walmart or something, because I can live with myself after robbing a bank. I can sleep soundly after that. I mean,
why would I waste my 24 hours
Yeah.
of crime spree murdering you when I can just hit you with a car 364 days a year and say, oops, and call it a day? Like, no, I'm going to rob a bank.
yeah.
Maybe pharmacy or like 12. I mean, let's be honest, medications are expensive nowadays. We all got bills to pay. So I might just go raid them of all the Tylenol and aspirin and everything. Why am I going to waste time killing someone? We got cars and things. Like, I can run you over or just let an alligator loose in your house.
Well, like I said, that like you still have to live with yourself. And are you going to be okay 2 days from now when you just slaughtered a bunch of people?
I mean, is there a reason? Like, really a reason? Maybe. It depends. There are a few groups of people, I don't have to know them personally to be more than willing to commit those types of crimes.
Okay, yes, I could see that there's certain people. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, you're just gonna go kill the dude who lives 3 houses down from you because the guy's kind of a jerk,
No, I'm going to go rob a bank because I need money.
right? Like I don't know who they kill in the purge. Like I said, I've never seen him. I'm doing something that's gonna get me money, if I have no rules for 24 hours, I need to get money out of this. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, there's 364 days a year, and the sad thing is, it'd be a lot easier to do it 364 days a year. No one's going to notice and really accuse you. But during the purge, if the person you hate dies and you're not there for whatever reason, everyone's going to be looking at you going, I personally would rather everyone not know I slaughtered someone and made them choke on their own blood at work tomorrow. It makes for an awkward water discussion, you know?
I mean, if you're a huge asshole and the purge comes around, I'm sure that you're like in your bunker because you know people are coming for you, right? Like you're.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that those people probably know that they're on somebody's list.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. If the purge became a real thing, I'm definitely on the top of quite a few people's lists. I mean, good luck killing death. Yeah. I am about as inevitable as taxes. Good luck. But it could be a hella interesting night for the family. You said what now? I say it again.
So in the chat, Trinity said she noticed that they're making Disney characters killers these days. I refuse to watch any of those movies. Why do I want to watch cute little lovable Pooh Bear kill somebody? I will not watch those movies. I have no interest in them at all. Don't ruin my cute childhood memories.
I can tell you exactly why they're making them. And it's really simple. It's extremely easy.
The copyright's up.
No, it's Disney's fault. It is Walt Disney's fault. And I don't mean Walt Disney as in the company. I mean the actual person that's dead now, Walter Disney. It's his fault. Here's why. He had planned for future use of the characters. He wanted to control his ideas, his characters so much and keep such a tight rein on them. He kept those copyrights up for as long as he legally could. All of the characters you were seeing them come out with horror movies on now, every single one of them is now free reign for you to have. There's no longer a copyright on these characters, so anyone and everyone can use them. So now we've got a whole bunch of Disney characters that Disney can no longer sue you for. Disney has gone so far as to sue a nursery to take down a painting off of a wall that had displayed Disney characters because it wasn't up to their standard. A nursery at a school, preschool. Yep. Are you kidding me, dude? So people remember stuff like this. And then, of course, this new thing with this woman and her husband in the restaurant and everything. And people are looking at this. And, of course, they're going, well, you know what we're going to do? Disney wants to do this. We'll do that instead. They can't touch us now. There's nothing they can do about it. So first came Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now is Peter Pan. We've had, they did another one or are doing another one.
See, I don't want to watch my Disney movies as horror movies. I don't want to watch live action. Like they had live action Aladdin. They had live action Lion King. I don't want to watch those. I grew up on the animated. I love them. I don't need to ruin my memories. What I had was good, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I didn't necessarily have a problem with. I watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I went into it with an open mind because I wanted to, as someone who liked Winnie the Pooh was one of my favorite characters for a very long time. So as soon as this was released, I was like, I'm not really sure if I'm interested, but I kind of owe it to myself to go see it because I'm always going to wonder. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's bad. It is. And the part that makes me so upset, I don't even care about the story at this point. You know what really pissed me off with that entire movie? The fucking costumes.
What was so bad about the costumes?
They were horrible. Tell me why Piglet, who's named Piglet because he's supposed to be a little pink pig, why is he a warthog all of a sudden? Do we not know our creatures? I mean, it's a type of pig. It's a wild boar, maybe. but it ain't a pig, bro. Boars and pigs
Piglet's not a warthog.
mate together. They have snouts, but that's about all they got in common. Winnie the Pooh did not look like a golden torn up bear. I expect him to kind of look dingy and whatever. He looks like a broke ass crackhead grizzly. He looks like Cocaine Bear. If Cocaine Bear had lived longer than the day in that movie, that would be him. He looks like crackhead bear. It's Winnie the Pooh the crackhead. Like, what am I watching? You don't look none of you look like your characters. That's what makes me upset. Everything else I can get past. I can get past the terrible storyline of Christopher Robin bringing his girlfriend to visit. I can get past all this. All of it. I can't get past Piglet and Pooh. What the hell, man? You had one job. One fucking job. And you screwed it up.
And you had all those years to perfect it while you were just waiting for the copyright to come up.
You had money to play this game. Look, do you have any idea the kind of costume I could come up with? Give me $500 and I could whip up something better than that. I mean, I will use costume polyester and costume fur, and it is the worst shit you can use to make costumes, and I will come out with something better than those costumes. No. You had, like you said, you had time for the copyright to run out. You had time before they started filming after they got the green light from the studio. You had time for when they started casting, from when they started shooting. You had time. I have made prom dresses, floor-length, hand-beaded ball gowns in a week, dude.
See, they should have just hired you.
It blows my mind when I see bad costumes in movies, because I'm like
you know that somebody thought it was good. That's like, oh, good, you put my vision into life. This is what I wanted.
And that's even more horrifying.
Yeah.
What cartoons have you been watching, man? What books did you read? Like, what drugs are you on? Is a better question, because I mean, it's not a question of are you on drugs. We know you are.
Yeah, obviously.
It's just
what kind?
What drugs are you on that made you think this looked okay? I'm guessing it was maybe acid or something. Like, it's the only thing like a hallucinogenic of some kind. Because like I can't imagine why you would look at those bad costumes and be like, this is the movie the world's been waiting on for over 50 years since Winnie the Pooh became a big thing at Disney World. Let's rack him out. As terrible as possible. And then we do it a second time. Way to go, guys. You made 2 of those movies.
So now I'm like doubly glad I didn't see it then. So yeah, Peter Pan. So Pinocchio is the next horror movie that they're making. That's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
Perry wants a California Raisins horror movie. That might actually be the one I would watch. Would be California Raisins.
I'm not even
I think that'd be entertaining.
I would absolutely watch a California Raisins horror movie. Absolutely. Didn't they make a short for like Mad TV or Saturday Night Live with the raisins back? And it wasn't happy at all. It was kind of dark a little bit if I'm remembering correctly. I could be remembering wrong, but I think there was a short with the raisins that wasn't their normal routine. I'd watch it. I'd watch a whole movie about it. The raisins going on a killing spree. For anyone who doesn't like oatmeal raisin cookies, they're coming for you.
See, I hate raisins. They're going to come out for me. I hate raisins. I don't know why anyone puts raisins in anything. Get them out of my food.
Oh, God. It would have been really good to see Pee Wee Herman in an Ernest movie.
Okay, I love Pee Wee Herman. I love Ernest. That would be... Because, Ernest, though, he would have never made a horror movie. Like, that just wasn't him. Jim Varney, I don't think, would he have really wanted to make a horror movie? Or is he only...
He did.
Like, a lot of...
There is. It's Ernest. Well, it's not really a traditional horror movie, and then that people don't necessarily die. But he's got Ernest Scared Stupid, and he's terrified
Yeah,
in the whole movie.
yeah. I guess I was thinking more of like a horror movie. Like Ernest isn't going to be out there like killing people.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of. But you're right.
yeah.
You're right. Ernest Scared Stupid. That was a good movie. See, I didn't think of that. Maybe I would have had that on my list because I do love him.
Oh, dude, that witch in that movie was friggin' terrifying as a child. And what's funny is I liked the actress. I can't remember who it is now. But I remember I liked the actress because she was in another show that I used to watch as a kid. And then when I saw her in that movie, she freaked me right out. Which is funny because not a lot really did back then. For some reason, I don't know why I felt like she was like watching me in that movie, and I was like, "This is weird. I don't like this."
Okay, so the other movies in the chat, Santa's Sleigh is a good horror comedy with Goldberg.
Yeah, that movie's funny. That is one of my favorite holiday movies. I put that into rotation when I have to watch Christmas movies. Because if I have to watch It's a Wonderful Life one more time,
Oh.
I'm going to slaughter an entire house full of people. So I found other movies to watch with family instead. And what do you know? Everybody in the family likes wrestling. So
Everyone's probably just tired of It's a Wonderful Life.
that too.
Then it's Black Friday.
Funny.
I've never even heard that one.
That's another good one. That one's pretty funny too. That one takes place they're at a store, I would say like a Walmart. It's like well, they got a lot more crap than Walmart, I guess. It'd be better than Walmart. It's a terrible work environment. And of course, everyone's unhappy because they're working on Black Friday, and a zombie apocalypse kind of breaks out during this in the store, though. It happens in the store, and the workers are not thrilled. I mean, I personally would not stay at the job anymore. I'd be gone. First zombie, I'm like, I was at work back in 2012 when the Mayan calendar was supposed to end, and I had to work that day. And I went into work that day, and I looked at my boss and told him, I said, "Listen, I'm just gonna let you know right now, if the apocalypse starts, I'm taking everything out of the register, grabbing a few pieces for whatever I need, whatever supplies I need out of the store. I'm going next door, grabbing a few supplies, and I'm leaving. And I'm not even going to lock the door. You're going to be out of luck." He's like, "If the apocalypse starts happening, please take everything out of the drawer, go next door and take supplies. And then please don't stay at work. It's fine. Don't come back in again." Oh.
So Perry has a fun fact about Santa's sleigh. To go back to that for one quick second, he said Goldberg met his wife on the set of Santa's sleigh. So next time you turn it on for your family, I'll have a little fun fact there.
I didn't know that. That's cool, though. It seems like a lot of people meet their spouses on the set of movies. That's cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Trinity, I like that idea. I would love to see a horror version of The Witches. Oh, that movie could be amazing. That would be really good. It's just like there was another one, Hocus Pocus. If they turned Hocus Pocus into a legitimate horror movie, that could be terrifying. Those women eat children. I'm not even gonna lie. I have a kid. I like kids. Some of them. I'm not gonna lie and say I like all. I don't. Doesn't mean I wouldn't hurt somebody for one, but I don't like all kids. But it'd be creepy as all get out to see like a bunch of like people getting sucked dry, and you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we need a much younger Bette Midler now and Sarah Jessica Parker, but small inconveniences.
Just have them do it and just CGI their faces to be young.
Have you seen Sarah Jessica Parker's face? That woman does not look the same person anymore. She looks like an entirely whole different
She
person.
does. Yeah.
And she's like, she looks like she should have put on some weight by now, and she still hasn't. It's just very uncomfortable.
But it's weird because she doesn't even necessarily look like she got plastic surgery. She just looks different, right? You know how some people
Yeah,
you could
she
just
does.
tell, like, oh, you just went and got all that surgery. Like, I'm
She's
sure
got
you're sure.
half the nose she used to have.
Well, that's
What
the
are
same.
you
Sure, she
doing?
has, but I'm saying, like, I don't know. She just looks different-ish.
If you look at her face, her facial structure, just her nose, just look at her nose from the movie The First Wives Club. She plays the girlfriend in The First Wives Club, right? And you look at her from Sex and the City, those are two different faces. Those are whole different faces. Totally different faces. Same thing as if you look back at
Who hasn't gotten a nose job in Hollywood? Like, in Hollywood. I haven't either, but that's what I'm saying. In Hollywood, who has it? Like, well, that doesn't, that doesn't, I guess I wasn't really counting that because I just assumed that, okay, you got a nose job.
I always think it's funny when stars change their face structure so much with surgery. Even if it looks good, I find it entertaining personally because I always imagine what that conversation is going to be like when your 12-year-old comes to you later and is hitting puberty and they're insecure on themselves and they're insecure in their looks and they're telling you how they feel ugly and they're telling you how they look nothing like you. And you're going to look at them in their face and say, no, baby, you look just like mommy. And that kid's going to be like, you're a liar. You don't look nothing like me. And she'd be like, well, wait, let me finish what I'm saying. You look like me before I had about 100K worth of work done.
Yeah, but if you have that much money to get that much plastic surgery, are your kids crying to you about how they look, or are they crying to the nanny about how they look? I don't know if they're telling you.
Look at it. That's a therapy session. You're going to have to.
I know, but I'm saying I don't think they're coming to you to say how they feel.
Well, then you're putting the nanny as someone who was a nanny. I'm going to say you're really screwing us because I wouldn't have known how to, and even as a woman, I wouldn't have known how to answer that to someone else's kid of, why don't I look like my parents? And it's like, well, you do, but just before they had all the work done.
You looked like your parents used to look like.
Yeah, like
you look like their old faces.
What a wonderful conversation. I mean, that's like, I always, when I was younger, I used to want a nose job. I didn't like my nose. I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't like my face. I thought it was just not me. So I figured when I turn 18, I'm going to get it done. And then I saw how they did the surgery and I went, not on your life. That's a chisel to your face. Thank you. I can see that ending well. My doctor is going to sneeze right as he goes to chip away at a piece and I'm going to be missing half a face. That'd be my luck. Like, no. And then as I got older and started thinking about kids, it was like, well, if I change my nose and my kid gets my nose, how am I going to explain that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mommy had the same nose, but she didn't like hers, but yours is just fine. You look perfect just the way you are. Even though I didn't think so, you do look perfect just the way you are. Do as I say, not as I do. No, doesn't go well. Sorry, being a hypocrite doesn't bode well for parents.
I just hate how everyone gets, like, they all have the same plastic surgeon because they all end up looking exactly the same.
That's true.
Instead of just having a trait that's unique to you. I mean, look at who's don't put baby in a corner. Jennifer Grey. She killed her career because she got rid of her nose and then she was a completely different person. Yep. No one was able to recognize who she was. And it's like, okay, maybe you didn't have the stereotypical cute little button nose, but you weren't hideously deformed. Mm-hmm. And you had something that was unique to how you looked. Mm. And like, if you were going to get a nose job, maybe you should have just gotten like a little minor change so it still was you, just a refined you and not a completely different person.
No, I agree. I mean, and now they're finding out that Botox in similar products to Botox, because Botox is the main brand for
Mhm.
the actual drug itself, is not the type of what they actually use. But anyway, they're now finding that these young 20-year-olds that are having Botox injected into their face as these new trends, they have essentially cottage cheese under their skin now, and it's moving down to the jawline,
God.
and their jaws are getting
Oh,
wider and thicker, and it's causing what they're calling pillow face, because it looks like your face is, because that stuff never goes away. They say, oh, it only lasts a few months. No, 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 no. What they found out is it only lasts a few months in that spot.
yeah.
Body doesn't get rid of it. It doesn't dissolve it. It doesn't spit it out. It doesn't run it through a cycle, and you don't get rid of it. You just don't. It doesn't expel from your body. It just moves. And in which case gravity takes hold and it moves it down. So all these young 20-year-old women have gotten this all these things done, and it's like they're looking down here and they're seeing it looks like they've got
Hmm.
cottage cheese under their skin, and they're having problems with that. And it's like,
And that's if you got the legitimate stuff put in your face, not to mention that there's people because it's expensive, so then you have to go get the cheap one, and then people are putting like caulk inside your body or other construction materials, or you know what I mean? It's
cement, rubber cement was one
yeah. I
I
mean,
heard
you don't know
regularly.
what you're getting.
Yeah, I heard about rubber cement multiple times. Now that one scared me, I think, more than just about anything else.
Yeah,
The idea of someone purposely injecting glue into your face is like horrifying. And people did it. And
yeah,
they're still doing it. I mean, they're now talking about lash techs doing Botox. My loves, no, don't. I don't know why you're letting the same person who's doing your pedicure do, inject anything
yeah.
into you. No offense to my beauticians. Don't get me wrong. I love my hairstylist. She's amazing. I've had her for years. Literally, I've been going to her for the longest time. I would go to war for that woman. I'm not letting her shoot me with anything. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I love her to death, but we both know what her background and schooling is, and it isn't medicine.
Yeah. Beautician.
She's a beautician. She wants to do my nails and cut off a hangnail. I'm a letter. She wants to cut an ingrown toenail. I might consider it, but she's not giving me Botox. I mean, what's wrong with some of you people? I get that it's expensive, then don't do it. You don't need all of these things. You're
Yeah.
perfectly fine the way you are, and any man that's ever going to ask is going to tell you the same thing. He don't care. Chances are he probably won't notice. He's going to be like, you wear makeup? What the hell are lash extensions?
Yeah.
My husband barely notices. Man loves me to death. And listen, the only thing he cares about is whether or not I'm wearing pants. Everything else is just bonus. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure yours is the same way with you. He's like, I don't care what she's wearing. She got pants on to leave outside. That's great. As long as she ain't showing that ass to everybody, we're good. Right, though?
See, I thought he wasn't as concerned about wearing pants outside as maybe the opposite when you're inside.
Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't want me wearing pants in the house either. But yeah, he prefer I wear pants outside the house. He's
Yes.
always asking, do I really have to put on pants and a bra for this?
Yeah.
Do I have to? Like, let's think for a second. If I'm just running to the grocery store to like go buy like a gallon of milk, and I'm going down one aisle and going to one register and walking right back out, do I really have to put a bra on for this? What about pants? Are pants really necessary, or can I get away with people thinking that this T-shirt's like a dress? Is it long enough to make you think it's a dress? Chances are probably not. If I have to ask those questions, the
Yeah.
answer is always, yeah, go put a bra on. No, you can't wear those without pants.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay, so I don't even know how we got on that tangent, but I'll give you my number three. My number three, because we have new people in the chat. We're going through our favorite comedic horror movies.
Yes.
So Death Dealer has the insightful feedback on this. She has great movies. I'm just, yeah. Gremlins and
Yes, good
Slaughterhouse were my 1 and 2. So, my number three is the Scary Movie franchise.
Okay, I can't even argue with
That's
those.
great. That's a classic because all the things that we make fun of when we watch other movies fit all together in one movie. Well, a whole series of movies making fun of it. And it's hilarious. There's just so many great, great moments from all those movies. And they crack me up every time.
Those movies were written and made specifically and only to make fun of other movies.
Yep.
And I really like the fact that the Wayans brothers had a lot of creative control over the first couple of those movies. Because the movies that they're in are the ones that they have creative control over,
Yep.
and they're the funnier ones in the series. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Wayans brothers project, the Wayans siblings projects in general, I always like anyway. There hasn't been a project of theirs yet that I haven't liked. I used to love Mad TV. That was the oldest brother Damon's pride and joy. It started back then. That was a long, long time ago. Been with them ever since when they were doing, oh God, I can't remember the other TV show they used to do. But anyway, they've been around for a long time. They're real funny people. But those movies are hilarious.
Yeah.
They are amazingly funny. Especially the first and second one. The first one's probably my favorite because I like the Scream parody.
Yep.
I really enjoy the Scream. I used to enjoy the Scream franchise. They have slowly ruined it over time with terrible movies repeatedly. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't mind a bad movie in a series once in a while, but for the love of God, spread them out. Give us something good and enjoyable to watch in between Halloween. Like, nah, you guys just went, nah, we're not doing anything fun anymore. But
well, I feel like they are. It's like a lot of franchises. Like it's a funny idea, so then you can kind of get away with making a second one. But then it just, it's played out at a certain point. You can't just make those forever. You've run through a lot of the jokes. It's you can't just churn certain movies out like they try to. So I'm with you. Yeah, the first two are definitely the best too.
I kind of feel like that's what they did with Paranormal Activity.
Your favorite franchise?
Yeah, it just. Yeah. Oh, that should have been my giveaway that I was going to hate that movie right there because I hate those movies. But I stupidly thought that it was going to be like the Scary movies and they were going to be funny. And it was going to make fun of it. And, I was going to get all my vindication of, I'm not the only person who hates these movies and thinks they suck. And that did not do it for me. That movie was everything I hated. The characters were annoying. It was just, I understand why they did it, but I don't approve.
Yeah. You loved it. Perry said that the Wayans only did Scary Movie 1 and 2, and movies 3 through 99 were the crappy studio.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because the first one's The Scream. The second one is House on Haunted Hill. And the third one's The Signs ripoff with Lindsay Lohan and Shirley. It's when it was like, what is this?
Yeah.
We're just throwing things against the wall to see if they stick. This isn't even comedy anymore. This is just grossed out humor.
Yeah.
Can I have a moment alone with her? Which half? What? Charlie, you shouldn't have been in that movie. You know better. You had a problem back then. Reputation was already going downhill. And then you did that. We all knew you were on drugs. There was no worries. You didn't give it away. We all knew.
Yeah, we all knew.
Because there was no way anyone's doing that. That terrible movie, saying those terrible lines and thinking they're doing a good job. But you did.
I think he just needed money because he spends it all on drugs. Although he's a really good money manager that he's not completely broke yet. Like, he definitely doesn't have money like he used to, but how does he have any money left? And how is he still paying child support?
I think that has more to do with Denise Richards and the fact that that's his ex-wife than anything. I bet when she left him, she probably put a stipulation in the divorce to save money for the kids from him. So he probably had to make a trust for the kids and put X amount of money in there. So he probably couldn't spend.
Yeah, but he paid her, and then the wife after her. I can picture her in my head. I can't think of her name right now.
Porn star. I know that she was a porn star. I don't know anything else though.
He for their two kids, he's paying more money than he's paying Denise Richards. That was like the big thing, is she wanted more money than Denise was getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Denise and Charlie's kids are older.
I think at this point they're 18, but or one of them is, because Denise and her daughter are on the internet together on certain websites. Who's doing that with their mom? Who's doing that with their daughter? It's creepy.
Weird.
It's weird.
Don't get me wrong. When I saw her back in the day in Wild Things, I knew she was going to be a freaky person. I knew she was going to be weird. I did not think she'd be that kind of weird, though. That is a whole new level of strange and oddity I've never seen. Like, I thought that genre was supposed to be fake.
She looks good.
We're hiring real family members now. And
if she wants to do that on her own, have at it. But to do that with your 8-year-old daughter, I don't care how old your daughter is. Do that with your daughter in general. I mean, that's just.
What about the mom who has her kid videotape her
content?
What the?
What's wrong, people? You were talking about people needing therapy sessions. That's worse. That's worse than mommy thinks your nose is ugly. Right? That's.
I got problems, guys. What the hell's wrong with you, Denise? I was on your side up until this. Like, I was all on your side up until that came out, and then I went, ooh.
So I know at least one of her daughters is 18. So, but we have to go back up in the chat for a minute, because I would like to know what Dreadpool's referring to. Dreadpool said, Publix won't give away subs for nips popping through a t-shirt. Is he implying that, like what kind of subs are you not getting? Like, do you want the nips popping out? Do you not want? Like, I don't understand. I need more clarification, please.
Oh, that's funny.
I have no clue what he was trying to say.
He's saying I won't get a discount for them being able to see boobage.
Oh, okay. So if you go with the nips popping out, they're not going to give you free subs. You're not going to get anything for it. So don't waste your time.
We can't guarantee that.
True, if you never tried it.
I'm not that bad. Well, yeah.
Well, wait though. Has he tried it? Does he put the he puts the air on as low as possible to get ready to go out? Yeah, that's what Perry said. Dreadpool's nips are popping through his beard in Publix.
They do though, because his beard fits perfectly in between his nipples, and when he gets cold, like all men, they just go. Bing! And because of the fabric shirts he's always wearing, it is very noticeable. Might as well just go ahead and cut glass with that bad boy.
So he said nips. I can't even pronounce it. NISP, not nips. I thought it was a typo, because if you're not saying nips, what are you saying? What the heck is a nisp? I thought it was a typo. Like, you totally were talking about nips. Don't hide it. Oh,
I think he was trying to make a play on words about the hurricane, like a wisp, like maybe the wind blowing up my shirt or something, like show and flash of the panties.
I think you're giving him too much credit. I think
maybe. I think I might be too. You might be right on that one. I might be giving him way too much credit and satisfaction there. That's too funny. Okay.
Okay. So what? Yeah. What's your third movie now?
Okay. I gotta be honest, I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. So give me a second to draw something up. I know there's something there. I just
Well, so if you want, so I'll tell you, I have a bonus movie because I have not seen this movie,
okay.
but I think everyone else in the whole world has seen it except for me.
Okay.
But I'm going to watch it soon though. So my bonus movie is Beetlejuice. I've
Oh.
never seen it, but I'm going to watch it soon because I'm just waiting for Beetlejuice 2 to come out on streaming. So
Mhm.
then everyone else who waited 30 years for a sequel, I did not. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to watch it back to back. So soon I will watch it, but I know that everyone loves it, and that fits right into comedic horror. So
It does. It very much does. It very actually well fits into that one. That is a good movie too. That's another one that when I watched it back with my daughter, I did not expect it to be as dark in some scenes as it was. There's things you watch from your childhood later, and you're going, "Holy shit! I didn't understand that at all, did I?" Didn't catch. I don't remember these scenes.
yeah,
Happens all the time. So I think maybe a lot of times parents put too much thought into it about what's inappropriate or appropriate in kids' movies. We weren't paying attention at the time. I'm sure these kids really aren't either.
well, I'm paying attention, and you don't get it. It just you think it's a joke. You don't you think it's a harmless joke. You don't realize that no, there's double meaning behind it.
Yeah,
And
actually,
then you grow up, and you're like, oh crap.
I actually have the perfect example of that. We watched Deadpool 3 or Deadpool Wolverine. And
Yep.
there's a couple, obviously, somewhat inappropriate jokes if you understand them. Well, one of the jokes, he punches the guy in the nuts, racks him real good. And it's just a funny moment. The guy, it's a slow motion punch. You see him get close to it and he just racks the guy. And it's a ha ha funny moment. And then it's done. My kid looked over and she goes, "That was a joke, right? Like, that was supposed to be funny, right?" Like, yeah. She's like, "I didn't get it." I'm like, "That's fine. You don't have to get it. You're a child.
Mhm.
Like, you're not supposed to find that funny yet."
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It wasn't funny to you. Y'all don't have to understand the joke. So it doesn't matter. But
So while you're still thinking your third movie, so Perry said he's serious.
mhm.
When he was a kid, he went to MGM Studios and they were on a ride. It was more like a sit down studio tour. And the
Mhm.
guy sitting in front of them had two red nipples on the back of his bald head. I love that this is his memory
Oh
of
my
I went to
god.
MGM. What did you do there? I don't know, but the dude had head nipples.
Oh god, that's too funny.
And then Dredd says that he's nisping right now. I You can keep saying
Half
that. You
cold,
can't convince
kind
me
of
that
half
you weren't
cold,
talking
half
about
not.
nips.
I think he might be half cold, half not.
Wait, nisping
Like
is,
half
is
hard.
only one nip is out?
No,
Like,
like half hard.
oh, I thought even just one was hard.
I am so getting canceled. Okay, don't worry about me. We'll be fine. Um, okay. Well, I would have to say, you know what? Let's go with something slightly newer, but not that new, because and it's more comedy and obnoxious than it is horror. Cult of Chucky. I think that one's probably supposed to be more towards horror, but I found most of it so stupidly. It's a friggin' doll for crying out loud that kills people. Honestly, how serious are you taking these movies? It's child's play. It's not as dark as Child's Play. Child's Play had less comedy in it and more murder. Cult of Chucky has the same amount of murder, but it's got one too many one-liners. I can appreciate the fact that they have the same people working on like all of these movies and TV shows. That's nice. So there's a consistency with the characters. That's okay. But We should put a little more thought into the characters, but that's just me. I don't know. But I'll have to say Cult of Chucky because there are no other Chucky movies where he's got multiple dolls coming back to life with Charles Lee Ray's pieces of soul. And they're running around an insane asylum. It's so ridiculous. I mean, Jennifer Tilly plays a character who's playing Jennifer Tilly who's not. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing is just to wrap your mind around it. You're like, what the hell? And not to mention, Jennifer Tilly looks amazing in that movie. What she's in. She's not in it the whole time. So don't go in it thinking you're going to see a whole bunch of Miss Tilly, because you're not. But what you do see, she looks amazing. So you're welcome. But I'll have to say that
I've never seen any of the Chucky movies.
Well, you've been saved.
I feel like I got it. I mean, I know who Chucky is. I'm not, I didn't completely grow up under a rock. I know who he is. I just haven't seen the movies. I feel like I should at least see the original, though, so I know what it is, what the deal is.
The original is good. It can be scary at some parts as long as you forget you're about 4 times the size of the doll. That's the part that always kills it for me and takes me out of it instantly. Because even when I was younger, have you ever stood next to a doll? They're not that big, dude. And they don't take much to, send them off like rocket ships.
Pump that thing into the river. Pump that thing down the sewer drain with all the poop water after the hurricane.
I need 1 Roman candle and a Cabbage Patch doll. We're good to go. You want to see Cabbage Patch dolls in space? Oh, that's too funny. Well, thank you, Trinity. Have a good night. Yes, Drip. We all want to see Jennifer Tilly. Can't not like her. That's funny. That's too funny.
Here goes some Chunky. The first 3 are good. All the others are crap. So maybe I have to watch the first 3 then if the first 3 are good. Campbell's Chucky soup.
I can honestly, most of the Child's Play movies, the only thing that I can tell the difference of anymore, because it's been so long since I watched those movies, I don't think I could tell the difference apart between any of those movies anymore. I really probably couldn't. I'd have to say, well, no, I guess no. Dolls I just never found terrifying. My cousin had a bunch of dolls in her room. She collected them. And I always found them creepy. But it never scared me. And, like, when I saw Child's Play, it was like, you're twice the size of this thing. What? How did it should not reach this level. Like,
see, when I know people with creepy dolls, like, it's more of like some dude's just going to use the doll, but it's like someone's coming back to life, like, through the doll or something. So I just figure if the doll's going to murder me, like, I don't stand a chance. Not going to terrorize me like Chucky does. Like, it's just going to straight up just murder me with those creepy dolls.
Puppet Master. That's the movie you're thinking of, Puppet Master. That's another series of movies where dolls kill.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
It's more terrifying, in my opinion, because those things come out of nowhere and they surround you. There's one, and I think it's the second Puppet Master, and there's a female puppet, and she spits out leeches on this guy.
Ugh.
And he dies by leech. And it is just, it's not that it's necessarily gross. It's just when you think about it going, how long did you sit there with all of that going on for?
Well, was he not able to pull the leeches off himself?
No.
Or did she just keep spitting them out? That, like, he took them off and she spit more. Oh, okay.
She handcuffed him. It's an odd set of movies. Very very twisted, very unusual. There's moments, there's people in the movie you're like, well,
What a
the guy
crappy way to
was
die, though.
well, the puppet master guy, it's like, really? You found this? He looks like Mr. Rogers. Like, this is not someone who's going for revenge, sir, but he plays it. I mean,
That's how they lure you in.
it's strange. It's interesting how good the movies are. It's odd. They shouldn't be as good as they are.
I have to add those to my list. So Perry had, which I was actually thinking as we were talking, that neither of us had on our list, was Leprechaun.
Oh, for good reason, though.
So I saw Leprechaun. My cousins had, when they first came out with like those giant conversion vans that you could like have a VCR in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and they had two captain chairs with a little table. Like this thing was hideous. Like looking at it now, it was so hideous. But at the time, it was like, what a pimp fan. Oh my God, it was amazing. And I don't even know where we were going. Like obviously it was a longer trip but we didn't watch it all in one shot. Like we broke it up, but we definitely watched Leprechaun in this white and maroon giant conversion van.
Oh, it's so funny. Jennifer Aniston in that movie is amazing. She's so bad and so obnoxious. It's amazing. She is exactly how you picture her to act in a horror movie. She does everything I expected her to do. She screams over everything. She freaks out over everything. She's, ew, it's dirty. I'm not staying here. And then as soon as the cute guy comes along, all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm coming to hang out. It's amazing. I love Leprechaun. It is a great movie. I'll even take Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun in Space. Those are all funny, ridiculous movies. They all have their own selling points for various reasons. The kills alone are unique enough to make it worth your time. And let's be honest, the one-liners from Leprechaun himself are always hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's worth watching. Why I would never say it's on the list is because I would always have to clarify which Leprechaun I'm talking about since they remade it a few years ago and they did a horrible job with it. And I've never been so disappointed that the lack of comedy in a horror movie in my life. Normally I'm waiting for the first kill in the movie. Like I'm timing it. And in Leprechaun, I was timing for the first joke, and you know what you never see in that whole damn movie?
A joke.
A leprechaun. You don't see a leprechaun or a fucking joke. There ain't nothing in between. You see a shadow, you hear some growls.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you have a Leprechaun movie without a leprechaun?
Oh, he runs in some tall grass that's been unmowed around a Blarney stone.
That's stupid.
And the worst part is, it's not even a really good Irish horror story at that. There are much better, well done Irish horror movies that I've seen. Hell, I can think of at least 3 with half the budget that movie had that did a hell of a lot better. I mean, how are you going to make a Leprechaun movie? And the whole thing, the whole series is around the guy, the leprechaun, and his smart ass jokes for an hour and a half or whatever it is. And we're going to make this just a non-speaking leprechaun, non-talking leprechaun. We're not even going to show the leprechaun. We're going to show shadows.
So maybe, hear me out, maybe they didn't realize that the costume person they hired was also the costume person on that Pooh Bear movie, and they were like, oh crap, we can't use these costumes. Plan B, we just can't look at the leprechaun.
Maybe. I mean, that makes sense, but they went through such a big deal. They actually hired a wrestler to play the title character of the leprechaun. Why the hell would you pay this man that much money to never even... And it wasn't like a regular wrestler. It wasn't like The Rock or anything. I'm not quite sure how to describe this person, so I'm just going to say highly
I was
challenged.
just gonna say, I'm assuming it was Hornswoggle because he's the only person I know who would fit the description of being able to play a leprechaun in a movie.
Mm, I don't know.
Where's
But
Perry? Where's Perry in the chat? How does it? Because he should have the answer. He should know. Yep, yes, we said it was Hornswoggle.
okay,
Like
so yeah.
that was the only person whose name I knew who has name recognition, and we did so we there's a TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs, and we saw the WLC match. So I'll let you assume what that involved, but yes, we watched that match. Da, da, da. Yep.
But I couldn't. I heard when I heard they had hired this guy, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a much more active leprechaun, and he's
Yeah.
going to do more stunts, and he's going to do more athleticism. I was thinking we were going to get an active, smart-ass running leprechaun who's yelling at him, shiver, hold on to your four-leaf clovers as he's chasing after him. Like I was expecting cool. What do I get? I don't even get a flash of an ass shake. You get nothing. Hogglesworth gets to hang out in the shade somewhere. How do we know he was really in the movie and he wasn't just a diversity hire that you lied about hiring?
Yeah, that's really dumb. Is how do you have a movie about a leprechaun if you don't have a leprechaun? And why you don't need to hire someone if you're never going to show a leprechaun? You do not need to hire somebody. Like save that money in the budget for something else.
Here's the thing: why do we keep taking the names of movies, redoing them, and giving them the exact same name but changing the story? If we're changing the story, change the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of tired of having 3 movies named the same thing. When I say Friday the 13th, you have to ask, which one? And you don't mean Friday the 13th, part 2, part 3, part 5, part 12. Oh, no, no, no. We're just talking about the original Friday the 13th, because how many do we have now?
Well, that's what I hate is you don't need to keep rebooting things. Come up with something new. And I think that when you take an established franchise, like again, I only vaguely remember watching the original Leprechaun. Didn't even know that they remade it. But if you have an established franchise, why do you have to go and remake it? Because all you're going to do, maybe you do come up with something great and people love it, but that's very rare. Really, you're just going to piss off the people who liked the first one, or you're going to constantly be compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's such a huge risk for you. It's very hard for you to have something successful. You're setting yourself up at a huge disadvantage.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, okay, the latest Hellraiser is the prime example of this. Okay, we could have done a reboot of the series of Hellraiser. That wasn't the problem. No one cared. No one cared that you changed the actor who was playing Pinhead. Did we like Bradley? Yes. Does it matter because it's been so long since there's been a good Hellraiser? No, not at all. But was it necessary for you to change the gender of the character, change the story, and keep the same name?
Well, that's a whole new character, though. Like, just give a new character name.
Well, that's the thing.
You completely changed the character.
They did the same thing with Evil Dead, as far as I'm concerned. Evil Dead is a great retelling of the story. The newer one is. Don't get me wrong. I liked it a lot. But it had nothing to do with the original Bruce Campbell movie. That movie is so much less dark than this new one. It can go into the same family, but they shouldn't have the exact same name. If anything, that one should be like Evil Dead the Third.
Well, too, and you could take the character and put them in something new. You don't have to remake something.
That's true.
Take the character, but give them, we're just going to take this character, but we're going to do something new with the character. Because then that gives you the freedom to do what you want.
Yeah.
Pinhead orders Uber Eats, but gets the wrong order, just eats the food anyways.
Not gonna lie, I heard he's a really nice guy, so he probably would.
Doesn't want to make anyone feel bad.
Yeah.
Still gives him a 5-star rating.
Yeah. I wish Robert Englund would play Freddy Krueger again. That would be amazing. He has no interest in it, though. He flat out has said he is not interested in putting on that makeup anymore. It's too much for him at his age, and it's understandable. That's a lot of time for makeup. I'm sure it's not what it used to be. I'm sure it took much longer when they started making these movies. But I can't imagine. Removing latex is not a good time. I have yet to ever glue latex down and then take it off and it be a good time. It always hurts and sucks. So, yeah, I can imagine why he wouldn't want to do that anymore. It makes too much sense.
See, that's what I'm saying though. Just have him act and then CGI him, just like I said you should CGI who was it, Bette Midler with the witches? CGI them young. Just CGI Robert Englund to look like Freddy. That's all.
Robert Englund would be a much easier feat to CGI his face because he still looks how he did.
Yes, because he is Freddy, so he has it's just digital makeup, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad he said he'd do it one more time fast properly because I'm gonna need somebody to get on that with money.
Yeah.
Write a good movie. Let's do that. I am so tired of straight feeding the line of his being a perv. Him being a murderer wasn't enough. We really got to throw that line in there. Like, it was unnecessary. That was really unnecessary. Nightmare on Elm Street. We don't appreciate you, remake. That's why you sank. That's why you stopped making movies after that. There has not been another Friday the 13th, and there hasn't been another Nightmare on Elm Street since those remakes because they tanked them so bad. Yeah. I mean, Friday the 13th, not a single one of those teenage characters was redeemable. Not a single one of them did you like. The only one you might have liked would have been Jared Padalecki's character, and even then, I wanted to punch him in the throat. And I love the show Supernatural, so by default, I should have loved him in that.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand him. Pissed me off more than most. I found him needy and whiny. Dude, I'd be giving you a weird look too. Some random giant just walks up out of the woods holding a flyer talking about my sister disappeared. I don't give a damn. Get off my property, you freak. You're the size of a fucking Yeti. Who cares what you're looking for? That's just me.
But you're really gonna, the dude who's the size of the Yeti, you're really gonna be like, get the hell off my property? Wouldn't you want to be polite to him and then get him to go away on his own?
I'm in the middle of the woods at a lake where people have been notoriously died, killed, murdered, whatever, disappeared, and some giant comes walking out of the woods. I don't give a damn what he's there to say. I don't care if he's there to tell me, come with me if you want to live. I'm about to die. I'm going to die today. Because the second I see a giant step out of the woods, the first thought that goes through my mind, I tell you exactly what it is. Wrong turn. Wrong turn. Got to go back. We need to get out of here. Seen that movie before? Cannibals. Ancestral cannibals in the woods. No, thank you. No, I'm good. I've lived in Florida a long time. No, thank you. People coming out of the woods, no. Not even up north was that a thing that people would do. If you saw another hunter in the woods while you were hunting, you walked in a different direction. You left them alone. And you're both loaded with guns and things. Like, no, thank you.
So RWK said he's about to die. Do you often have Yeti-sized men come out of the woods to talk to you while you're out in the tractor? But you're in the tractor. You could just run him over. That
is exactly why I would act like that if someone did, though. Because it is not a common thing. Now, if me came walking up to me out of the woods, I might hear the bitch out for a minute. I might give her a minute. But I'm not giving her arm's reach. She better stay the hell away from me. I don't trust you. I don't know. We are in the middle of the woods. Do you know how many horror movies start the first murder in the middle of the woods? And what do they usually look like? I'm just out of curiosity. Let's be racist for a minute. What do they usually look like? Me.
Yeah.
They're brunettes. I don't want to be that one.
See, I'll never have that problem because I'll never be in the woods. So I won't encounter anybody. So I will be surviving. I'm going to be inside my house.
Oh, that's great. So I can't say that I've had many people come approach me out of the woods very often, and I don't think I handle it very well when they do. The few times it has happened, I'm usually not very friendly because, like I said, I'm in the middle of the woods, dude. I genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
If you need help, I got a bad news for you, buddy. I am not the one you need to be finding right now. If you need to get signal and call 911. I am not a doctor or a nurse, nor do I pretend to be one on TV. You want your soul shifted to another life, that I can help you with. You want to open a hole in the ground to devour a soul, I'm your person. You want help wrapping a leg because you twisted your ankle, well, you better start gnawing it off and hope you can limp your way back.
The only wrapping you can do is when you wrap the dead bodies completely. You're carrying them out into the woods.
Wrap them. Yeah, exactly. You know how many bodies I wrap in plastic every year? Yeah. Please. That's about all I can do for you. Yeah. Then again, you have to ask yourself, if you see my crazy ass out in the woods, are you really trying to come ask me for help?
Well, who's going to approach you because they're going to see you over a dead body that's wrapped in plastic. They're not going to know that you're just setting up the trail. They're just going to be like, here's some lady by herself in the woods with a whole bunch of dead bodies. I need to not join that. I'll break my ankle even further running away. I don't care.
It looks like she's got a shovel and she's digging a hole. Is she digging a hole?
Yeah.
What's a hole? And I dig a few of those too every year. Just saying. We gotta dig a catch hole every once in a while near the pond. So in case something decides to leave the pond, we get a heads up before it gets there. So you just dig a little down so that way it just kind of goes bloop and it's here. It's not keeping anything in there. Except maybe a snapping turtle, because those don't do well in holes. Alligators climb trees, as we've discussed before, gentlemen.
So you'd have one person who would approach you in the woods, and you would be powerless against him because his nips would be poking out from around his beard. So you'd be like, "Okay, let's go."
Okay, that guy has already approached me in the woods and had to deal with me and the cops in the middle of the woods. It doesn't surprise me that he's more than willing to deal with my fuckery. He never knows what he's going to be dealing with when I ask him, guess what I've done today, sweetie? It could be anything from I went grocery shopping and got dinner to I murdered someone and put him in the trunk. We're putting up missing posters later. Don't forget to smile and act concerned.
In either way, he just smiles and nods and says, "Okay, honey."
I have a reason for my madness always. Yes. That's good. That's too funny. I wouldn't trust most people if they came up to me in the middle of the woods. Just because I'd be like, why would you come to me of all the freak shows you can find out here?
Well, why are they? I'd be like, why are you even in the woods? Well, I mean, why am I in the woods? But why are you in the woods? Like, don't come talk to me.
Okay. I could just, that would probably be some of the funniest. There's a day when I'm setting up my haunted trails. I come home covered in red paint. I sit around once a year, close towards Halloween, or well, I should say close to October, and I mix my own color of blood that I put on everything. I put it on props, I put it on people, I put it on costumes, I put it on walls, trees, whatever. And it looks very, very realistic. I get it as close as possible to the real thing. But when I use this stuff, Mom and I literally walk through. I go like this to her. She goes ahead and just pours a bunch in my hands. I kind of roll my hands like this and just grab things and touch things and fling everything. And I'm flicking and touching. And I come out of that maze and I am absolutely just covered. I mean, one, my hands have paint running down them to my elbows. And of course, because it's all over my hands and my arms, it's getting all over my shirt, all up in my hair because I'm sprinkling it on everything. That would be a hell of a time to come up on me in the middle of the woods because it looks like I have just chopped somebody into pieces. I am so covered in it. I've had to pull like chunks of it out of my hair.
And not only did you just chop someone to pieces, but you're like dancing around, sprinkling their blood all over everything. Like you're enjoying it.
Could you imagine walking up to see that? Just like a 5'4", running through the woods, just because I mean, I sing and shit while I'm running through. I mean, it's Eminem a lot of times. I like old rap, so I sing a lot of that, but it's like running through just covered in paint. I mean, the cops have come by and said hi because they always think it's entertaining. They're used to my shenanigans by now. So they're like, "Oh, it's her again. Don't worry about it." Like they did bring a rookie over to me last week. They didn't tell him who we were, and they told him that we were acting suspicious and to come ask us questions because they already knew. We're on property with the cops. We share property with the police. I'm not stupid. I'm not pulling a crime right next to a friggin' canine unit. You got to be dumb. So, of course, I don't worry when they come over. I know they're just coming to say hi and stuff. Well, the three of them stay back there, and they've got this one young rookie coming over, and he's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, ah, shit, here we go. They're screwing with him. They didn't tell him on purpose. They did it on purpose. There seems to be some suspicious activities out here. We've gotten complaints. Can you tell us what you're doing out here exactly? And I was like, sure, no problem. And I'm thinking to myself, if they want to do this, we're going to do it. Like, I'm going free range because I know none of them are going to shoot me. So it's free range at this point. Let's do it. Hiding a body. Sir, ma'am, you're doing what? Getting rid of the body. What do you mean? What do you mean what I mean? Where am I supposed to dig? 6 feet. Ma'am, you're not supposed to tell. Not worried about it. Would you like to come take a look at it? It's wrapped in the plastic right over here. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Come take a look at it. He wasn't thrilled when he opened that bag up. His bosses thought it was hysterical as hell. He didn't think it was funny. I thought it was funny. I was laughing because I kept asking him if he wanted to go into the ditch. I was like, I'll push you into the ditch. You want to be a next prop? I'll just push you in and call it a day.
I love that they purposely sent him over. They set him up. I love it.
I told him that his friends were not very nice after that. I was like, I just want you to know they did that to you on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, sweetie, I've been here for a couple of years. I come out here every year. They know me by name. He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, you got played. You got hazed, dude. You got punked. He's like, oh. Sorry about your luck. Who says you can't have fun with the police these days?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend telling them you slaughtered someone unless you know them well and they know you're joking.
Yeah, don't try this at home unless you have a pre-established relationship with the cops.
Do not ever do anything I do. I am insane and I am lucky. I honestly don't know how I've gotten away with most of it. I really don't. All I can do is think that I don't know, maybe Dreadpool is such an amazing person. God just letting me skate by. He's balancing out karma for me. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say you just average out.
We cancel each other out nicely.
Yeah.
I commit all the sin. He makes it the same. Little old lady Frank's red hot.
He was. I think he was saying for the blood that was all over you. Because he said that little lady, that little old lady in the commercial. I put that shit on everything.
Oh,
I think it's saying about you with the blood.
yeah, that's true. For just an estimation, on just people in costumes last year, I probably used about 2 gallons of red paint, acrylic paint.
That's a lot.
That is a ton for acrylic paint.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah, no, I go through it. We got it in a big gallon jug this year with a pump. I told Mom because she was like, "I'll buy it," and I said, "Okay, go ahead. I'll mix it once you finish." Because I only need a couple of drops of different colors to make the color right. You don't want it bright, bright. It's not supposed to be bright, bright. It's supposed to be like tinted. But anyway, so I told her, I said, "Oh, I'll mix it once it comes in with the colors we need." She's like, "Okay, I got it on a pump." And I said, "You put a pump on it?" And she goes, "No, it came with the pump." And I said, "You got acrylic red paint in a jug that has a pump." Sure shit, there's a... I'm like, what? What art teacher is buying this and going through so much acrylic paint in one sitting? I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm grateful. Thank you. I just want to know what you're using your red paint for. I know what I'm doing. What are you doing? That's the question. That's what inquiring minds need to know. What else do you use red paint for? I've only ever used it for blood. I hear you can use it for other things, but I don't buy it.
Where's the fun in that?
I don't buy it. I had a discussion with somebody Saturday when they ran in the haunted house. They asked me about fake blood, and I looked at them and I was like, "What do you mean by it?" They're like, "Go buy, a bottle of fake blood." And I was like, I don't understand the question. Why am I buying a bottle of fake blood? One, I have a recipe for it. Two, I don't use fake blood. I use paint. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? It's acrylic paint. It washes off skin. Doesn't it sting your nails? I don't care. I'm out here every weekend for a month. You think I really... And even if I wasn't, do you genuinely think I'd care? Like, it used to get me out of volunteering at my kid's school. My favorite time of year. They used to have... Oh, yeah, no, because I had to volunteer when she was younger. She went to this one school, and we had to volunteer so many hours a year. And every month in September, or every year in September and October, and up until November, I'd have to tell them I can't come in and volunteer because they didn't want children to have to be exposed to, I don't know. I genuinely am not sure, but I volunteered one time on a Monday in October, and I was asked not to come back again until after I closed my trail.
The death dealer just exudes out of you.
I guess. I mean, I found it hysterical considering, like, out of all the parents there, I was probably the most normal-ish looking one. I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
I was wearing just jeans and a t-shirt and like a sweater, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I won't come back. The only thing I could think of is I might have missed some paint or something somewhere. upset some parent, but oh, she looks dirty. Oh, she's got blood under her nails. It happens. We all live and learn.
Yep.
But, well, everybody, it has been amazing, but it is getting late.
Yes.
And we all have to go to sleep, or at least some of us should probably go to sleep. I have more destruction to clean up tomorrow on my haunted trail, so I get to go do that. Are we all excited? I'm excited.
But we had a good chat tonight. I'm glad everyone participated, told us their movies.
Yes, and good movie choices at that.
Yeah.
Everyone had nice movie choices.
Yeah, so for the all the Sundays in October, we'll be going over different categories of movies. So we didn't pick which one we're doing next week. So it'll be a surprise for you. But this is what we're doing. So be prepared.
Yeah, it'll be fun though, because it'll be. I mean, there's really so many movies, so many genres. It's difficult to run out of things to say with those ones. So that's why I think favorite time of year. Besides, there's more movies coming out this month. I mean, in the next few days, we'll have a whole bunch of movies drop in the next, 2 weeks. I think a bunch of them are dropping by, October 15th and stuff, or October 20th. So we'll see what happens.
I don't even know it's coming out. Because like I said, I don't go looking for movies. I just wait till they come to me.
Oh, there's a few that I wanted to see that look interesting, but I'm not willing to go sit in the movie theater to watch some of them. Some of them I might debate it, but there's a few Don't Blink looks interesting to me. I don't know if I want to sit in the movie theater and watch it, though. I kind of feel like some parts might just be too drawn out for my attention span.
Yeah.
I might need to pause it or fast forward it or something. Help me get through.
I just wait for movies to come out and I can watch them at home. Although I do like going to the movie theater because I want to eat popcorn. It's really all I care about.
That's true. I can't make popcorn at home ever. I always burn it. It's not fair. They should make unburnable popcorn kernels. Think about that. Unburnable popcorn. You know how easy life would be?
I don't know, because popcorn is pretty easy to not burn. Do you walk away while it's cooking? What are you doing?
Yes. You stand there for 4 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever it is. I don't stand in front of it for the 2 minutes or.
You don't want to burn it. I use that time to melt my butter.
Isn't it in the microwave? How you melting butter if it's already in the if the part is in there?
Oh, I have an air popper. Make popcorn in the air popper.
That's cheating. No wonder you can't. It's hard.
Trust me, you can burn it in an air popper. I've done it.
You would have to be almost you would kind of have to almost set out. It's like burning stovetop popcorn. You kind of have to set out to burn that. It's not that easy to burn. It's not. I have is the easiest thing on the planet.
Here's the patented popcorn technique. You have an air popper, and then you melt butter. So you take your popcorn, you pour the melted butter on it, and then that's pasta spoon. You mix the popcorn with the butter with your pasta spoon. Then you put the salt in and mix it. You got to mix it in 2 separate times. Mix it once to get a coating of the butter, and then mix it a second time with your salt. You're welcome.
I might have to get an air fryer. I don't have one. I have refused.
An air popper.
I have
an air popper.
I don't have one of those either.
It does one function. It pops popcorn. That's all it does. I have had the same air popper since 2003, 2004. I have a 20-year-old air popper and it's still working.
Dreadpool, I want my nacho cheese machine first. Just saying. We have a deal going. I want a nacho cheese machine. He can have his next kitchen gadget when I get my nacho cheese warmer.
Yeah, you need it so that way you can put the giant bag of nacho cheese in it.
Yes. Absolutely. Nacho cheese belongs on everything. And just so everyone's aware, I've had nachos with cheese 3 times this week. And I'm not sorry. I'm going to do it tomorrow. It's a new week. I'm
I
starting.
was just gonna say it's a new week. You're ready to go.
I gotta pass by the same gas station every week on my way to my haunted trail, and every week I stop there a few times to grab a drink or whatever. And every time I walk in, they got their nachos and their cheese sitting right there, and I'm like, I'm not hungry now, but jeez.
Well, remember, don't take too much. You don't want the guy to beat you up like that guy in Vegas.
We can fight about it. I still want to know how much cheese that took for him to fight somebody.
I'm gonna go on a limb and
back.
say, well, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that the guy probably took more cheese than the average person, and the guy was probably just kind of a dick to begin with. And I'm sure that the gas station dude was probably just looking for a reason to fight this dude. I can't imagine that it really was over how much cheese he took. I think that was just his breaking point, and that was just his reason to fight him. I don't know.
But like, I mean, as someone who has found different excuses to fight with somebody because I don't like them and I want to make their life difficult, and it's fun for me sometimes to argue, especially, I'm not nice all the time. I know it. My husband knows it. It's fine if the rest of the world knows it. My own kid knows it. So who cares? I've never beaten somebody up over like food like that. Like I would beat somebody up over food. I'm not gonna lie. I won't say I would. I would absolutely smack somebody over a sandwich, for sure. But it's gonna be like the last sandwich in the state.
You know, see, now you have a reason. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I don't think you really need a reason. You just come up with a reason. Like as you're wailing on the dude, you're like, "You took too much nacho cheese." I mean, they could beat him up because you wanted to beat him up.
Well, yeah. I find you gotta have some underlying real anger management issues.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I bet you, because I think the guy also broke the machine, but I bet you the guy's a dick, and he probably comes in all the time, and the guy probably has had enough, and he lost it.
I mean, I probably would have kicked him out of the store and not let him come back first. I mean, I worked in a store before, and I've done that to customers. I've had them removed and trespassed from the property, so where even years later, they're still not allowed on the property.
And you never know. Maybe you would have had more fun if you would have beat him up. Probably not, because the dude got arrested, so I don't think you would have had more fun.
It probably wouldn't have been as fun because, I mean, I enjoyed my round of violence as much as the next red-blooded American. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a good round of violence every now and again? Put them up. We gotta fight for a reason, though. Like you said, there's gotta be a reason. I mean, just throwing. What? Why are we? How old are you, sir? That fighting is like a 16-year-old's game. That is when you should be fighting, between the ages of like 16 to 25. So when somebody throws you through a table, it doesn't break you in half. After the age of 25, you need to stop, because instead of throwing the punch, you're going to throw your back out. Stop.
You won't get hurt going through the table. You just hurt trying to get back up.
Yeah, like, what table? Table's not going to stand a chance.
Yeah.
But common sense, man. Like, I don't know. Have somebody trespass them from the property would probably be much, much better.
Well, now you know, if you go see one of these movies that's coming out, they have nachos in the movie theater. Just prepare. Don't take too much nacho cheese.
I'll buy my own cheese machine. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna buy my own cheese machine. Don't worry. Besides, I'm not fighting nobody over chips. Again, I might fight him over a sandwich, but I'm definitely not fighting you over some nachos. Nachos are stale tortillas. What? Why? And nacho cheese is essentially like Kraft Singles cheese melted with jalapeno, like seasoning.
Says the person who's eaten nachos 3 times this week.
Yes, And I'll do
And
it.
everybody has plans to eat it tomorrow.
And I'll still make fun. Because, I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Nacho chips started off originally, and you can believe me if you don't believe me, you can look it up. You can actually look it up. There's a story of the guy who's talking about the first time he made tortilla chips on a large scale. They had a bunch of tortillas that went stale, and they didn't know what to do with them. They didn't want to throw them away, so he figured, oh, why not just rip them up, fry them again, and serve them. See what happens. Even if you go so far,
Well, thank God he did it.
yeah. Well, I mean,
They're delicious.
as long as nachos are good, but we got to be honest with ourselves. You got to be honest. There's stale tortillas. It is Kraft Singles cheese with some jalapeno seasoning. Let's be real. Like, that ain't real cheese. Bro, real cheese solidifies. That stuff does not solidify. It's not real cheese. I don't care. I'll still eat it. I'm just saying. Be honest with yourself. Hey, if you want to do drugs, at least admit to being an addict. That's all I'm saying. First step is admitting you have the problem.
We'll find out next week if you watched any new movies and how many orders of nachos you've consumed this week.
Yes. And if I let you all go, I'm going to go and buy some more nachos.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it again. Go buy some now. So thank you, everybody. You guys, as always, are amazing.
Yes, thank you, everyone. It's been fun today.
And we'll see you guys next week for whatever subgenre of horror we decide to discuss then. So have a good night, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and stay safe, stay dry, and try not to get in the way of a hurricane. That's my advice for the week. With that being said, I am still a death dealer.
And I'm Pink Pickles.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.